30 miles an hour, it doesn't look like there's a crop in the field. It looks like a child driving the sprayer. Look. Otherwise, you won't have any Coleman's mustard for your steak next year. I've got to die at 84 because this is to 85, so the children might have to bump me off at 84 and something. 16th of April, and just come to Bedford. I want to come and look at the mustard, see how that's coming up. As I'm coming up the road, it didn't look very promising, so fingers crossed it's better once we get in the field. Should be cotyledon by now, but the dry weather is really impacting actually how these crops are going to perform, especially the oats are fantastic. I haven't looked at the peas yet, but have a look at them shortly, and have a look at the mustard, which I think is struggling for the lack of moisture because it's drilled so shallow within under an inch. So of course that's the part that's going to dry out the quickest, and then the water when we last looked was down to about 2 inches down, so unless the roots have got down there to that level, they will be chitting and dying, unfortunately. So slightly apprehensive about what the mustard's actually going to look like. So the Tom and Raymond are both on the Bowser today, and they're just waiting here for the Arctic lorry to turn up, coming directly from Great Yarmouth. They're going to fill the 2 tanks up. That lorry will get gone again. That then is ideal for us because that means we can try and maximise the number of loads backwards and forwards to Great Yarmouth or back to Madingley, where we've got some storage tanks. So today will be the last day that we'll be on liquid fertiliser, which will be the final pass for the wheats, the barleys. We've got some a secondary pass to do on the oats, and also a secondary pass to do on the mustard. We've held off on that because actually we want them to push on a bit further, so we don't. There's a consideration that if we put the fertiliser on the oats too early at this stage for the final dose, we could actually end up with small grains and poor bushel weights. So we're holding off on that. And the mustard, it could be actually the concentration is too scorching for the size of the cotyledons at this stage, and it might then actually either hurt or kill them. So we're holding off on that. And also, if we have got a poor crop of mustard, then we don't want to be putting more money on if there's actually the potential that we've I've got to re-drill, or we've got to write some of it off. So we're still in April, so typically a lot of the times we wouldn't drill until now. So if we have to re-drill, it won't be the end of the world. But so the guys are up here waiting patiently, and we'll go down the field and just have a look at the sprayers which are running. I haven't seen them running on fertiliser for a long time, so I'm actually quite looking forward to it. So you've got both sprayers here. This one's just folded up. He's coming back to fill up. Hopefully there's enough fertiliser to keep him going, and the timing of this truck just works out well. And then the second one is just here on the left. I can't tell who's in which. I need a flag or something. So one of them's enjoying a nice beverage by the look of it. I think it's Kieran. Yeah, that's definitely Kieran. I can always tell. There you are, flashing. It looks like a child driving the sprayer. Look, it's definitely Kieran. Yeah, he's getting the job done. He's an extremely talented spray operator. I'm getting that out of the way just in case the end of the boom in my car are connect. So you can see the yellowing of the wheat here is just starting to go off. Second wheats, so always a little bit further behind, but it's ready for the next nitrogen. But so dry now, and the crops are feeling it. Often the case though on second wheats later drilled as well. You see the yellowing though from where they've had the water over the winter, where there was a lot of water up till February. It's a job to believe that we had such a rain problem. One of the great things about these sprayers is the speed in which they unfold. So this is Sandy, and it'd be good to get the fertiliser done so we can then start reducing the amount of tankers we've got hired out, and then we've got some tanks we're gonna empty out, and then we're gonna relocate them to a new storage facility we're building. So I've wanted to do that for 20 years, but never been able to justify it. But now I've decided that I think it's the right thing to do, and it'll be all properly bunded. You don't actually have to have the tanks bunded. on the liquid fertiliser. But we started off originally, my father bundled tanks, obviously were smaller, so one tank was enough in those days. Of course now we're going to want 20 tanks. There you go. There's a stream so that it comes out, so it's not coming out the nozzles, you know, like a sprayer in a fan. It's coming out in streams, and that's why we're allowed to go when the conditions are a bit windier. The 48 metre has been for us a complete game changer, and we want to go to 54 as soon as they make them, which will fit well with the 18 metre setup that we're working towards. So we'll have the new drills in August. They'll be 18 metre, and then we're looking at demoing if we can get it agreed with them to have it here, an 18 metre header. So we'll be moving effectively to an 18 metre CTF system. I think that's the next stage. But moving to these sprayers, there's a lot of talk about whether we could do it, whether it would work with 2 sprayers. But if now we've got the 2 Bailey Bowsers and we've got the lorries running as we did anyway, but we didn't have the 2 Bailey Bowsers, we had one and a smaller 10,000, but now we've moved to them. The output of these and efficiency, and the particular drivers, Sandy and Kieran, are very driven, and so they're managing their own hours, what time they start. They started at 6 this morning to get down here, and managing, you know, when they go home, etc. So they are highly motivated in getting the job done, and it's working well because it's Thursday today. So they'll get the fertiliser done well ahead of targets we set. Then they'll have got some spraying to do, which then means they'll have the weekend off again, as they did last weekend. So actually it's a very nice balance that's happening at the moment, because they're cracking on in a week and really making a difference. One of our base stations, so we've got effectively 3 weather stations, not base station, weather stations, sorry. And it makes the 270 that they had in Brazil, which effectively the same. It makes our setup look a bit irrelevant, but the idea is that with these, you've got to capture the rain, you've got to capture the wind, you've got the humidity, you've got the moisture of the soil, and this information in particular for us, the amount of rain and the wind is critical for the guys on the sprayers not having to drive 34 miles to come up here to see if they can spray. Is that they can actually look in advance, looking at what the weather's going to do, but then actually look on advance to see in the morning, right, are we still going up there? They haven't had a rain event, etc. And it just effectively creates more efficiency for the business in not driving around the countryside to find out when you get there it's too wet, or the conditions are wrong, or the wind is too high. And because we've got the Chiltern Hills here, you can get very different weather events on this farm in this immediate area to what we'll get traditionally in other parts where we farm. And as we've grown the business and we started the farm over a wider area, we've had to introduce things like this, which gives us the ability to not become busy fools driving around or having to ring people locally to find out what the weather's doing. And it's a relatively inexpensive setup, and each year they go off to be calibrated and serviced, etc. And I have had a deer nibble the wires before now, but currently looks like we're okay on the deer front. This is the Avatar, I think. Yeah. So this is Avatar drilled, and it's wheat into wheat, so it's second wheat, as I said earlier, which I'm just going to have to be in here fairly quickly because he isn't hanging around. He's going to be down here, and I don't want to stand in there after he's done the fert. But it's actually it's a good stand. It's a good crop. But you can just start to see the patches now. It's not dead even anymore. You've got the yellowing happening. You've got the sort of shorter patches. I mean, it's not unusual for second wheats, but that aside, a really good rain wouldn't go amiss. I can feel it in the air, and if you get the fertiliser on and then it rains, it's absolutely perfect, because you might get 30% going onto the leaf, and then you got 70% on the floor. And obviously if you get a rain event, that washes it through the soil into the rooting zone, and then the crop grabs hold of it and goes. But you know, they do it on agronomy wise. There's a bit of disease pressure going on. Some of it, there's a bit of scorch as well. But second weeks, obviously you're going to probably expect a 20% drop in yield, if I was to guess, something of that order. So you know, you might be looking at 8.5 to 9.5 tonne a hectare, and you'd be hoping that the first weeks are going to be trying to get up to at least 11 tonne a hectare. Slightly often lower growing milling wheats. This is a milling wheat as well. I mean, that looks a much stronger crop. Slightly better soil, makes a big difference. More even. That field there's got better drainage and than what we've got on these other ones. These are historically get quite wet along the track here. It's why we dug these ditches out. We even put in some new ditches that weren't here before, trying to just get the water off the land. I think what we probably need to do next is we need to look at getting a drainage machine on the back of the tractor and actually just try and put some drains across the track straight into the field and try and tie that up. It's in my mind.
I was told.
That's half, it's 30, so you say it's 5 minutes late?
So far, yeah.
Right, which reg?
J5, I believe, is
right.
The first lorry.
Andy. Oh, Andy's late. Oh, he won't like that. He'll tell me when he gets here. He said 10. We're going to get it to drive this truck. When was it last used?
Last time we came down here and left vehicles here, so it'll be a few weeks.
Okay. So Lilac's going to drive this back. So she's on her, I don't know if it's probation or interview, I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so like all these things, right, can you drive a truck? Yeah, I can drive a truck, right, drive that back. Best way, isn't it? Yeah. So I see you've had a shave since we last had you on camera, Tom.
Something like that,
yeah. Yeah.
Tidy up.
Yeah, would you like me to buy you one?
What, a razor?
A razor, yeah.
No, I'm perfectly fine.
Oh, okay, yeah, well it's an age thing. Mine will probably be blotchy. Right, so we're just having a look because everything's got trackers on it. We can see where everybody is, apart from my car. I operate in stealth mode, don't I, Tom? So nobody can. But of course, my car is a bit obvious, so they can see me coming over the hill. But anyway, Andy's here, so he's in Barton de Clay, which is literally down the road, and we're sat here. So within the time it refreshes, he is literally going to be coming up this road any minute now, which is going to be absolute perfect timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe he stopped at the fish and chip shop or something like that. So if we have a look, we should be able to see him come up this hill. Oh, and Raymond on Saturday, birthday boy, aren't you?
Yes.
He's 60 years old on Saturday. So happy birthday, Raymond. And he said he came here when he was 45 years old. So 15 years. I said to him, I deserve a medal. I deserve a medal. Yeah, so 60 years old. Yeah, big party. Good. So Tom, how old are you?
21.
Okay, so 21 to 60 feels like, for you, feels like a long way off.
It certainly does.
Yeah. It's surprising. 21 is I think 29 was my favourite time, but yeah, it's surprising how far off everything seems at 21.
It certainly does.
But it comes quick. And then
Yeah.
people always say that to you, and you think, what a load of old rubbish.
Exactly. But soon it is, yeah.
Yeah. So that means, you know, Ramus might be retiring in 8 years' time or something. And yeah, and 21 for you. You've got another 50 years, haven't you?
Like
I should think it'd be 70 something time you get to your age that you have to retire at.
Keep putting it up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've just finished some life assurance, which I've got through hopefully this week, the second lot. So I've got to die at 84 because this is to 85. So so the children might have to bump me off at 84 and something.
Nothing like having a clock on your age.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. The first lot was 70 something, so I've gone a bit later now.
Giving them a bit more.
Here he comes.
Here he is.
Here's Andy. Yeah.
Yesterday looked Friday.
Not good. Ah, so Freddie's gone to Turkey to have new teeth. So he's got good teeth? So Freddie's in Turkey having new teeth installed.
Young man.
Oh, he looks like a young man. Oh, very good. Oh, yeah. I need to get Graham some new teeth. Or just some teeth.
I don't think Turkey can help it.
So where are we? We're quarter to 10. So yeah, I'll take great pride in telling him he's late. Oh good, look, he's driving nice and slowly, so he's not going to cover the car in dust. So he's a very considerate driver. I think Andy started with me in about 2006. I think that might not be right. It might be 2008. I'll ask him. But yeah, I think that's about 2008. So what are we? 226. So nearly 20 years. Let's go and ask him. He's told me you're late.
Who?
He said you'd be at 9:30. I said Andy's never late.
I was there at about 2:15 this morning.
2:15 you got up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
So what time should you have been here? That's not bad. Hold on, we were told 9:30 when we stood here waiting. Come on then, let's get you in. What year did you start? Was it 2008? 11? Oh, it's later than I thought. I had to wait for you, that was the problem, Andy. These tankers are excellent, so this is a good system now, so they'll just swing up, fill up the boys here, empty the Bowser, here we gone. So Andy said at 2:15 he got up this morning, and 45 minutes later he was then in the lorry, so for 3 o'clock and off to Yarmouth to get filled up. So, you know, they're planning their days to get the job done. It's such a great team, but each aspect has to do their part to make sure the whole system works, and Andy getting up early to get the tanker filled, other tankers following in behind him, he's getting here perfect time and fill up the Bowser. The sprayers are still running, so they'll fill up Raymond first, and then Raymond will go fill up the sprayers in the field, so they haven't got to fold up, and because they've got the feed at the front, and then he'll fill Tom up then, and then he'll go back off to Yarmouth. So look, he doesn't even like his boots inside the cab to make it dirty. You go in his cab, it would be immaculate.
Yeah, we go to Yarmouth. That's all done for us down there. We get down there early in the morning because they start at 6. So we like to get down there a good time. And then, because that's like a full-on job really, they do all the loading for us. We just sit and wait, and then we sort of just come back here wherever we need to go. We've been doing work for Brine Flow Direct, which is a good job really. Yeah, so it's all good, all good. So yeah.
When are you going on your next summer holiday?
My next summer holiday is what James has asked, is it?
Yeah.
I'm going for a long weekend at Benidorm next Saturday, and then 2 weeks after that I'm off to Cyprus for 9 days. So yeah, looking forward to it. I don't get as many holidays as James.
You're going to top up your tan though?
Top up my tan.
So we've got Raymond's Bowser here hooked up with his pipe onto Andy's tanker, and he's just sucking the fertiliser out, so he's full ready for when the sprayers arrive. And then I'll take what's left out of this tanker and put it in mine, so as soon as the sprayers are here they can fill up and get straight back on.
So James very kindly, when we spec new sprayers, we spec them with the fast fill kits on the front, which allows us to pull up directly behind the tankers. So we've got two connections, 3-inch fill, and it's pumping about 1100 litres a minute, so it's a really fast fill, which we need for efficiency. So this is going directly into the tank via this pump here, so making our job a lot faster and a lot more efficient.
Starting to feel a little bit nervous when I'm looking at these fields. From the 30 miles an hour, it doesn't look like there's a crop in the field. So it's, I wonder if this is going to set me up really badly for the rest of the day. I really smell the decay of all this, but if we get down, we've got cotyledons just coming through, look, of the mustard. This is changed colour. This has got hardened by cold weather. This is fresh. And it is here, but I mean, it needs a fantastic rain, I think, and maybe it will just look better. But as walking over it, it looks a poor old thing. The thing about mustard is, if it bounces out the ground and it goes really well, then it does well. If it comes out the ground really struggling, it doesn't do well. See, it's here. It is here, and I've got a slightly higher seed rate, and the moisture is still there, interestingly, underneath the thatch, which is part of what they would do in Argentina and in Australia. Is that retains moisture into the soil, which, you know, I can feel it. The ground's more soft, look. There's a bit of moisture there, whereas if you go to where the sun has baked it, it's absolutely, there's nothing. So, yeah, it's we need a big rain event now. I think this is really surprising how dry this is. Otherwise, you won't have any Coleman's mustard for your steak next year. Whew. So I'll perhaps have to come and look at it next week. But right, so everybody, can we please have fingers crossed, toes and anything else that we need some rain, and anyone that's got too much rain, can you just send it our way, please? Because I think the eastern counties need some serious rain. And whatever's going on in the sky, I mean, it's dark, but it doesn't feel like it's not forecast to actually come down, but it's hellishly dark. so that you can see, they get a better view now of the Chiltern Hills here, how the rain can often just come over these and you get these sort of rain events, but perhaps it's raining on the other side. So all the fields you can see in the distance here, which are all effectively brown, these are all drilled with mustard. So the whole area is your Coleman's mustard. So fingers crossed. It's nice to see cotyledon, but you want some bigger, stronger plants than this. That is for sure. Yeah, it is. You can see it here. There is more once you get your eye in, and then it's just going. There's a little. I've not seen it yet, but the agronomist Henry said yesterday that he'd been down here yesterday morning. He was starting to see flea beetle damage, and that's the other thing. If you've got a struggling crop, you get hit by flea beetle, then there's your secondary issue why it's going to die. So we need rain. I'll even have rain in the day, not just at night.
Afternoon everyone, down at Caldecott at the moment. I'm on track maintenance, getting all the tracks ready for harvest, because obviously it'll come around quick. Just on one of the 942s. So we'll walk across and have a look at the grader. It's the first time of me actually using this machine. It's relatively simple. So basically you've got, obviously you've got your up and down adjustment, you've got pitch side to side, because obviously all tracks are different. On the front here you've got your, basically your points, they're made of hardox, so you just sort of scratch the surface, get a little bit of loose, they're angled, then you come across to the back plate which is solid. And then that sort of leaves you with a fairly even finish. These tracks I've got to go up and down once more, and they will be about there. I think we had one of these machines last year. We didn't have the concrete blocks on the top last year, so that's just for a bit of added weight, obviously because tracks generally are quite hard. Our tracks are anyway. But yeah, you just sort of, it's a very slow job, 3k, go up and down, like I say, just scratching the top, getting a bit of tilth, getting a bit of stone to put along, and you end up with tracks starting to get more level. They're really good at filling in holes or ruts if you've got them. A lot of tracks you sort of get ruts down the side and it's high in the middle, so this will take all that off, take it down level. Like I say, it is quite time consuming, but it's worthwhile in the end, because the last thing you want is tracks full of holes or ruts, and then you can't, especially during harvest, getting the lorries down here and whatnot, you want it as flat as you can get it. So we just lower the machine down and you sort of get it semi-set before you set off. Then the machine will tell you sort of what you've got to do. You want to be dragging a little bit along. 3 kilometres an hour, so it's very slow and mundane. But now we're sort of on final pass. You just sort of really feathering the top. And obviously you don't want to be dragging along too much, because you get all the spill out the side. And you find yourself constantly adjusting it. It's not like being in a field, because tracks are obviously all over the place compared with a field that's been nicely cultivated and flat. So I don't know if you can see there, those front tines barely scraping the ground. Where there's a lot of big loose stones, it's picking them up, and that'll eventually feed them through to the back scraper, which sort of does your levelling.
Hello everyone, I've been asked to give you guys a quick update as to what the Bulldozer is getting up to as I'm currently moving it around with a flatbed trailer. This is one of the last few jobs for it to do, which is tidying up this wet spot for us. It's going to get gravel down to be used as a loading site and harvest, as well as give us a cleaner entrance and exit to the field.
Right, so we're in the trailer of dreams, we're going to call this, aren't we? That's the name. And we're both not very tall, are we? How tall are you?
6 foot.
Oh, are you? Are you really? Are you sure?
On
On a good day, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, well, I'm 5'10", so there's a bit of room in here.
Well, actually, I could be a little taller.
We're a quiff. So the idea is that we're going to try this as an upstairs, downstairs. So we're going to hopefully turn this into the merchandise area for the trailer, and then downstairs we're thinking about making it into a bar. And then the concept is we're going to bring it to cereals. That's where we've got an unwind, isn't it?
Yes.
So we're trying to come up with how we're going to do it, and Lila, because it turns out, is arty-farty, so she's got some ideas as well. Samuel's come up with some amazing prices, which now I'm trying to bring it back down to a farming budget, rather than
design cost.
I want to turn his pricing the other way around. But, so that's our current plan. So we'll see how this develops, because now we're thinking about dragging this around to the workshop and start spraying the outside, and then we'll work out what we're going to do inside. So you'll see this journey. This is bringing in milling wheat that we're going to create seed for. This is our seed. We're now, because we're out of season, we're using the time in the grain store to create seed for next year. You can see all the broken bits of the wheat. We don't want that going in the drill. There's bits of black bits, etc. Just general stuff that's coming out the combine. And you can see here, we've got the colour sorter running. So if there's any ergot or any stained grains or anything like that, that's obviously rejecting. So we're just trying to get the boldest, best samples to give our next year's crop the very best. This is Skyfall, which is my favourite variety. Unless, of course, one of the new varieties I put in yields much better, then I'll have a new variety. But so the cleaner is, there's lots of bits of chaff. If you come with me, Lila, we'll have a look up here. This is the hardest working part of the farm in here. Now Gordon and Steve will tell me this is the one that makes the most money. Careful, did you just find that new step? So the cleaner is stopping, and it starts again because it's on demand according to the colour sorter. So you've got all these various decks in here which are cleaning it. Now this will be running slower, and the slower you run with a cleaner, the better the finish. So when we're doing seed, we might only be at 20% of its output, because we need to run it slowly, because we don't want any chaff or anything coming into the drill. And when we put the seed dressing chemical on, we don't want that getting stuck to chaff and not to the seed. So that's one of the reasons we want to run this really clean, so that the sample we drill with is perfect. So you can look down there, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the clean seed through the cleaner. You can see that's just about to load again, that'll start running again, but there you go. So that's you can see there's no chaff in there at all. All the chaff is gone, it's cleaned that, and if there's anything that's not quite right, that's now going to go into the colour sorter, and that will just finish it off. So just have a look down here. Can you see down there? You should be able to see, as the wheat comes down, anything it doesn't like, it will reject, and you'll suddenly see a blast of air that will go whoosh, and it will chuck it away from the way the wheat's going. And the way this system works, it gives it a second chance. So the first channel up here is what's come out the cleaner. Anything it's not sure about, it puts into the fifth channel, and then the fifth channel running, which is the one nearest to you, is second chance. And that should have very little in it. Now that's just emptied that, so if that's a bad sample, you'll find that it stops the cleaner, and then that will build up, and then that will stop everything, and then that will just have to empty it. Now that's when it starts to get slow. So this is a testament of how good the seed is, because what we don't want is black grass or ryegrass or oats or anything that we're going to put in the drill and then drill, which then is going to effectively, we'll be drilling weeds, one for a better word, into our next year's crop. So Steve and Gordon are working hard on this to make sure our seed is perfect. We'll go and have a look at the bagging. Feels like harvest when you come in here. It's quite warm and you can smell the wheat. So we're bringing the wheat in. They've had a massive clean down. Took them about 4 days to clean the site down to make sure that there wasn't any mustard or anything else we've been cleaning prior. So if you look here, so there you see, that is basically what we're bringing in. It's overwintered seed, so it was last harvest. And yeah, it's pretty damn good. Must be a good combine driver. And it wasn't me. Right, we'll quickly nip in the car because we're going to go around the corner to where they're bagging the seed up. So what they do is they've got a weigh scale underneath the pipe, and we'll get the bags exactly right. So we'll get 1,250 kilograms per bag. It's a sign of laziness, this is. You drive everywhere. But God invented a Range Rover, so we might as well use it. If there's one thing I would like, is I'd like all the alarms on my car turned off so it stops beeping at me. It's infuriating. I know it's not in here. It must be the N1. It's infuriating my car now because it stops me from driving what I suppose Land Rover decided is badly. I can't drive with the door open. I can't reverse onto a trailer with the door open. I can't reverse or drive without the blasted seatbelt on. It will just sit there and it will put the handbrake on. And eventually I get so annoyed, I just floor it and drag the back wheels along the ground until eventually it decides that that's too much and it gives up. But oh, so infuriating, the design of these modern day alarms constantly beeping at me to tell me that I'm perhaps driving too fast or something like that. I've been to Range Rover or Land Rover twice and said, can you turn it off? And they refuse. They said it's law. I can't believe it's law. And it's because if you're driving around the fields and whatever, you don't need to wear a seatbelt, but of course they don't seem to understand that. But to them, the only reason you buy a Range Rover is to go and pick your children up from school. There you go, here's the seed. So, Skyfall 1,200 kilograms it's got in this one, 1,200. Okay, so Skyfall winter wheat, and it's got no dressing on, just before anybody's wondering why it's in a grain store. So we don't put any dressing on. Yeah, 1,000 grain weight, 53. So it's all one batch. So they'll bag all this up, and then we'll end up moving this to our seed store. But it's the beauty of getting stuff done now ahead of September. So if we can get a lot of it processed pre-harvest, then the beauty is, and we'll over-process, so we might have, I don't know, 30% more than we need, but you never know what season you've got coming. And if you end up drilling later, etc., and Skyfall you can drill, you know, technically up till March, then we're in a position that we've got it all bagged up ready. Anything we don't use, we just debag and put in the heap and then sell. So I suppose you've got a wasted cost of cleaning, but you can reuse the bag if you want to, as long as you put it into Skyfall again. Then we typically only use the bags once, even though they're multiple use. I only like to use them once. I've had a bag or two in my career break where I've been going to load a drill and caught a bit of a rut on the forklift. The bag snapped on the forks, hit the back of the drill, and if someone had been underneath it, that would have been the end of them. So I'd rather bin the bags, or not bin, but go to the recycling place and buy new bags than have the risk of an accident.
They've run out of stone.
Okay. Well, there's plenty at the other farm.
Yeah, we need that, don't we?
Yeah. No, I don't mean to bring it here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
You're starting to look like a real bulldozer driver today. Shirt half undone.
I know, it's because I broke the button off.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did,
Yeah, too manly. Too manly for your buttons.
Yeah, something like that.
Looking good, looking better. You're obviously going to take a bit of height out of here.
Well, there's the soil's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches under. How much did you want on it? Put about 6 inches on it.
Yeah, 6 will be fine. And then we'll just need to put some road planings on it.
Yeah, I think if you gave it a good beat down with that big roll of that, and
yeah, it's much better. This is always getting wet. Yeah, so the poor old horse stables get the. My mother doesn't actually know that these horse stables exist.
oh,
But I suspect if she suddenly finds out these exist, she'll be.
there'll be more horses.
There'll be more horses, yeah. I'm under pressure about more horses for the children.
Yeah, but horses, you put £50 in at the start of the week and you get a wheelbarrow full of poo at the end of the week.
Well, yes, you'd be lucky if you only put £50 in.
Well, yeah, that's
You obviously haven't got a horse, have you?
Well, no, my partner's got a horse.
Okay, well I can assure you of something, it's more than £50. Well, it seems to be in my world. It's extraordinary. You get an operator that knows what they're doing and you put them on a machine, the difference in the quality of the work and their ability is they're worth every penny. And you could get some people charging you full whack and actually they're just making a balls of the job, but he's really dead eye on this. He doesn't need the GPS, he's that good. Just going back to the farm now to finish off the levels. Now we've got more stone. We ran out of stone, so I had to go and buy it out of Lincolnshire, send the lorries up there, and we've had to use limestone. I typically don't use limestone, I typically like the rail ballast, but the rail ballast hasn't been available to us once we ran out, so it's now on a bidding scheme. You have to bid for it, so we're having to bid effectively for 5,000 tonnes. See if we win the bid, otherwise I suppose we'll have to just carry on with limestone. So this is the peas. It's Sprinter drilled these. Again, incredibly dry, so drilled and rolled, obviously then had a preem on it, and they actually, you get your eye in, you see where you get a bit where the overlap is much stronger. You just look down there, Lilac, you can just see straight down the lines. So we've got rows there, so get a good flush of rain and it actually, I think it'd be quite an impressive crop. Lovely, they're a beautiful thing looking at peas. Look clean. Some of it's still just coming through. It's not getting caught yet, so that's good. We've got the, just want to make sure we don't get the pigeons on it. I don't want them to work out that there's peas here yet, because once they do, it's going to be tricky. Oh, here's Graham, look. So we're near Graham's house. Find out how retirement's treating him. All right, Graham. This is Lilac. She's a better looking camera person than Tom. Less noise, less chat. How's retirement? You enjoying it?
Yes, yeah.
Not bored?
No, watching stuff grow.
Really?
Yeah, seeing you idiots running up and down the countryside. Thinking to yourself, I'm glad I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well, you've had how many years? For 53 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
53 years of working.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it makes a change nowadays.
Yeah, what time do you wake up?
Oh, 6:30.
Are you still waking up?
Yeah.
And what time you go to bed? 2 in the morning?
11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'll start that soon, you know, going to bed earlier.
I get up early, but I like to go to bed early. Yeah. Oh, good. Well, you're not selling it to me.
Well, you've got to have something to do, ain't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm wondering, what do you do?
Well, I keep doing things in the house, decorating one thing another.
Hold on, you've got like a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah,
You've been decorating that for 6 months.
I've still got one room to do.
Have you?
I ain't got the energy to move all the stuff out.
So next year you'll still be decorating?
Yeah, I'll probably start again then.
Oh, good.
Oh, they're looking quite well.
What do you think?
They're looking a lot better.
We're relying on you to make sure there's no pigeons on this bit by your house.
Yeah, well, normally if there's anywhere.
You're getting the low down here?
But they put a gas gun out over there earlier this week.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, fingers crossed. And I'm amazed there's no pigeons.
They're fits and starts.
Oh, they have been coming out, have they?
Yeah, there's been push past.
That's dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not looking as good.
No, this one always is sandier, isn't it?
I'm pleased with these, Graham. I think we've done well. God, I tell you what's dry though, the mustard in Hexton.
It's struggling, is it?
It wants a drink.
Yeah.
We need an inch. No, probably 2 inches thinking about it. Yeah, an inch won't go so far, will it?
No, we had a heavy storm here yesterday.
What, rain?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, we had puddles all down the road yesterday.
Here?
Yeah.
On this field?
Yeah, it's on these.
Graham, are you sure?
Yeah, I know.
Graham, I know you've got a weather thing in your mind that it's always raining, but are you sure?
It was yesterday.
Yeah. So anyone on the farm will be laughing now because they know that you've got this extraordinary weather thing that it's always raining here. Well, there's no sign of rain.
Oh, you didn't get up early enough.
No, well, obviously, yeah. Well, you don't need to ring me at 11 at night to tell me.
No, I'm not going to bother.
No. It's a good day today. Sun is shining. Fertilisers finished across the main block of winter crops, etc. Just got some spring to do. It didn't rain in the end down in Hertfordshire, which is a blow, but fingers crossed we do actually get some, because some of these crops are so dependent upon it, these spring drilled. I think it's one of the reasons that forefathers between us before me didn't actually came away from growing spring crops because of this just sort of unreliable weather patterns. But anyway, that aside, hopefully they'll get the wheat finished as we're cleaning the seed next day or two, so that'll all be done of the skyfall. Then we'll look at what the next varieties are, and then we'll get back onto cleaning some ergot wheat, which we haven't done for quite a while, and we'll get some road planing stuck about, finishing off these hardcore areas. Will's tomorrow is going to finish off blading out, ready for the concrete guys, and then we can roll those areas ahead of the concrete guys coming hopefully the following week over the back of the Shed of Dreams. So yeah, now the sun's out, there's a bit more of a spring in our steps, and feel like we're actually getting the job done. We've got to change the wheels on the sprayers down to the narrows. Looks like we've got 2 more jobs to do with the sprayers, then we'll have probably a couple of days grace so we can do that, and then we'll get back to spraying again, and we'll get off-hire the tankers when we get the last lot of fertiliser moved out of Great Yarmouth back here, so that'll be ready for the oats and the mustard, so we know what we've got left. So thanks ever so much, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you. This is for Sunday, so look forward to seeing you again for Wednesday. And well done, Lilac. So this is Lilac's first time that I met her, and she's had to run around baptism of fire. Got to drive in a pickup truck, got to go to see Glyn, got to go to see this person, that person, and whatever, sending her off in all different directions. And as far as I'm aware, she didn't get lost, or she did, she kept it to herself. So well done, Lilac, and hopefully you'll all agree that I haven't seen what she's done yet, but hopefully she's done a good job. And Tom's on holiday, so put him under pressure. All the best, bye.